Hi guys, so we're just going to take a moment and finish up our presentation for Chapter 6. This is really the discussion, if we're talking about the break-even analysis for a Starbucks or for a coffee shop, any kind of coffee shop or bakery or any retail organization, it's very likely that they're selling more than one product. We're probably not just selling coffee. And that's a simplifying assumption for our understanding of break-even analysis. And so we're going to take that one step further and talk about what happens when you have more than one product in any given organization. We're still going to use some simplifying assumptions. We're going to assume that the sales mix is a relatively constant sales mix going forward, and then as you guys get further along in your managerial accounting or finance, you can start to adjust your mix of these products. So let's look at this example for Starbucks. We're assuming that we're selling both coffee and pastries, and as we have discussed a lot in this example, our coffee is just this basic coffee that we're selling for $2.50. There's $1 worth of variable costs: the cost of the coffee, the cost of the cup, the cost of the electricity, right? All the variable costs here, and the unit contribution margin for a cup of coffee. For every cup of coffee that we sell, we're going to contribute $1.50 towards covering our fixed cost and generating a profit. For our pastries are a little better deal for us. We're going to sell those for $4. The variable cost for our pastries is $1.25, and so the unit contribution margin for a pastry is $2.75. So we're going to look at the weighted average of this contribution margin. We're not going to use $1.50 and we're not going to use $2.75. We're going to use a weighted average. So the management at Starbucks estimates that we sell about 60% of our sales are for coffee and 40% are for pastries. So all we're doing is we're taking the contribution margin, we're multiplying it by the percent sold. The 60% is coffee, 40% is pastries. We're adding these two weighted contribution margins together to say for an average customer, the contribution margin is about $2, right? This is a weighted average of the coffee and pastry sales. We'll take the fixed cost, and again, this is a number that came up multiple times in our prior work about Starbucks, that their fixed cost is estimated to be $12,000 at this location. The weighted average of contribution margin is $2, so we need to sell 6,000 units in order to break even. We'll take that 6,000 units, 60% coffee, 40% pastry, 3,600 coffees, and 2,400 pastries in order to break even. It's pretty straightforward when we're talking about two kinds of products at this location. Another example here is just if the management comes back and says, really, it's for every there are 4 coffees for every 1 pastry, so it's 80% of our sales are coffee and 20% are pastries. So the weighted average contribution margin would be $1.75, $1.50 times 80% of our sales are of coffee, 20% of our sales are pastries. And in this example, we also would like a target profit. So here's the $12,000 of fixed cost. This is our target profit. We would divide by the $1.75, and the target units would be 12,000 units. 80% coffee, 20% pastries. Very straightforward. Let's look at another example. We're going to do the cost volume profit analysis based on contribution margin ratio. This is common. This is the example when we say, well, this is how many dollars of coffee we sell. This is how many dollars of pastry we sell. So I'm no longer spending quite as much time talking about individual pastries. I'm looking at these aggregate numbers. So in total, I sell $33,600 at this location. Again, here's my variable costs. Here's the contribution margin. One of the things I'll start pointing out is that means the percentage of sales that is coffee is 71.4% of our total sales dollars are coffee, which means that 28.6 roughly is pastries, right? So we would take the 9,600 and divide it by 33,600. So 71.4% of our sales are coffee, 28.6% are pastries. That gives us the total of 100% in our overall sales. We have the total overall variable costs from these coffee pastry sales. Here's my fixed costs. So here's the profit. The contribution margin is 62.5%. For every dollar of sales that I have in this location, I'm delivering 62 cents of profit, for every dollar of sales that I have in this location, I am delivering 62.5 cents of contribution margin to cover the fixed cost and deliver a profit. So now I'm just going to take my total fixed cost of $12,000, and here's my target profit of $15,000. I'm going to divide it by the contribution margin ratio. I need to sell $43,200 worth of goods at this Starbucks location to break even. $43,200 worth of sales to break even. I can break that down into the coffee sales, 71.43% if we carry it out one more decimal point. So I need to sell $30,858 of coffee and $12,342 of pastries. Now, obviously, we have used the simplifying piece where we're expecting these ratios to be constant, but it's a good place to start for us in this. So that's it. Hopefully this answers any remaining questions we have in the chapter, and we will start chapter 8 on Monday. We're actually going to do a couple of extra problems in chapter 6 first, but then we'll be rolling right into chapter 8. Hope you guys have a good weekend.